Good morning, everybody. So Taylor put up an SOS about makeup, and since I am really bad at it, I thought I would give her some help. Okay, so I already immediately regret this decision. Okay, so I've done my hair. It'd be better, but now it just has to get out of my face. Products. Let's start with the products that I use for wrinkles and kind of setting things up. So obviously you can use whatever, but if you're interested in checking things out, I get these from jet.com because they're cheaper than Amazon. You can kind of see what that is. It is the Andalou Naturals. This is a derma filler. And so I use it here, and then for the I'm so concerned for you therapy lines, that's what I call it. Somewhere somebody told me to let things dry in between each application. So when I'm getting ready in the morning, I will get out of the shower, put on the derma filler before I go and put on clothes. Come back, and then I will put on the hyaluronic acid, which sounds horrible. I put on this hyaluronic acid, and these are available anywhere. I get these on Amazon, and they typically come with the hyaluronic acid, vitamin C, and a retinol. And I get the 3-pack. So I use the vitamin C typically more in the summer months. I'll let that dry, or I just go like this for like 10 seconds. And then I put on a moisturizer on top of it that has an SPF. Now, this one is from Alba, and I bought this in bulk through Jet, I think, and so it only has SPF 15, so once I'm through with this one and the next 2 bottles that I have, so probably, 2020, I will upgrade to something that has a little bit more SPF than this. But this is no animal testing, no artificial colors, no parabens, no harsh sulfates, none of that kind of stuff. So I use a lot of Alba products. Then I let that dry. Primers. I used to do e.l.f. primers, and I switched because I found that theirs were a little bit thicker than I liked. It really did feel like a mask that I was putting on. So I switched to Wet n Wild, and shockingly, Wet n Wild is mostly vegan. Most of their products are vegan, and they are cruelty-free. And so I pick up a lot of things now from Wet n Wild, and they're super cheap. And so I think these are less than $5 a piece. So the first one that I picked up, and the one that has the most in it, is the Dewy, because I thought that I really liked that more moist, dewy look, especially since I typically can be more prone to dryness. But in the summertime for me, I don't have that dryness. And so this was just looking like I was sweating all day. So I picked up the matte, and this is what I use every day. This is what I'm using in the video. So the thing that I like about this is that it really does, like if you can see, like you can still see that I've got some color from the blush, and I still have the makeup on. If you're not putting on foundation, I would skip this step because you're not putting anything on your face that you need to actually prime. So think of prime before you paint. If you're not painting, you don't need to prime. So here is the, what I call foundation. So this is a CC cream. To me, this really is a foundation. I mean, it's technically like a pumped up tinted moisturizer, so it has a little bit more color than a tinted moisturizer. And so for anybody who wants to know exactly which color I'm using, this is the natural beige. There's not a lot of colors that you can pick from here. Think about this more in the lines of a tinted moisturizer where you basically have light, medium, dark. You can skip this step. You can do just a full-on tinted moisturizer. So for blush, I don't even know how old this is. This is several years old. I will preface that anybody who does this and is like a pro at this, I'm probably going to gross them out because I have product from ages ago. I have brushes from ages ago that I rarely ever wash, maybe once a year. I know that's gross, but who has time? So this is their blush cream, but this is what it looks like, and it used to be fill this mound here. So you can see I use so little of it, even though I think it's like $30. So I lied. This is not from the drugstore, and this is not, in my opinion, affordable. And so I use this from, oh, this is Rimmel. This is not cruelty-free. This is from the drugstore. Once this is gone, I will replace this with something probably Wet n Wild. So, concealer. This is from e.l.f. e.l.f. is shockingly cruelty-free, and I believe they don't sell in mainland China. And so, if you want the easiest, really what you can do is pick up some type of eye palette that has the brush included and has all the steps to give you that look of, oh wow, she knows what she's doing, when you really never even think about it. This girl. This is from e.l.f. and it came with 4 colors, and that was to do exactly what the rest of these are doing. So you're doing that eyelid and the crease and the brow bone and the transition, and it gives you the little brush thing here. I used this all up except for this one right here, which I think was meant to do the crease, and obviously the crease is the least amount for me because of how much my eyes kind of fold over themselves. So what I ended up using is I decided one day, you know what, brows are in. We're supposed to, you know, the trendy thing is to have thicker, bigger brows. Microblading is outside of my budget and really outside of my comfort zone. So I just picked up one of those extra brushes that I had, took the dark and said, huh, that's close enough. And just played around with it one night and said, okay, I can do that. So after this got empty, I went and purchased this one. This one's from Wet n Wild. e.l.f. and Wet n Wild, just like every other brand, they don't carry the same products for 2 years. And so by the time I'm finished with something, I have to go and find a new color because what I was using is gone. So I picked this because it had a bit of a purple to it. And I know that purple is good for brown and green eyes to pull out that color. Okay, so these are the newest. These are actually still out. I bought these just a couple of weeks ago. These are the ones that didn't come with the brushes, which makes me have to go out and buy brushes, or I'm going to keep kind of mixing colors. But so I went in and I saw this color palette, which is a very fall color palette because someone on YouTube said that this is what they're switching to for fall, and it's becoming their staple. So this is the one that I used this morning. This is the one that I'm going to most often. And if you can see, it has a bit of that pinky to it and then the browns. And so this color combo looks really good on brown eyes. I should have done this angle all day. This is so much better. This is the Physicians Formula that I have in Ultra Black. The thing I don't like about this is that it really wants to be too heavy. And then like use this to blend, and it's too heavy for me. I think this needs to be more of that like cat eye that I can't do. But again, I'm going to use this until it's empty, and then I'll go find something else. Yep. Now we've gotten to the point where we're putting on the setting mist. I just started adding this. Frankly, I don't know how long I'm going to use this other than just what's left in this bottle. This is the e.l.f. Matte Magic Mist and Set. Okay, so, all right, everybody gets to see all my bad habits here. So I don't use those blender thingies because I bought a bunch of the old school sponges and I'm cheap and I'm not going to just throw these away. What I do is actually just run this under the water. You can kind of see it's a little bit darker here, and then I just kind of push it against the side of the sink like this just to squeeze it out, so it's just a little bit damp. And then just kind of four corners of the face, and then I just kind of take it and spread it out and punch it. I find if I do this, then the color actually stays and doesn't just kind of get sucked into the sponge. Cream blush. Here's an e.l.f. concealer that is just like used to death. So I just use a brush and just kind of go in and get it. But some of them have their own like little roller things. Go in a triangle. So this is for if, and since your eyes are really what you want to play up, you can just go in a triangle. I don't really have a lot of this left, but go in it. Can you see that I'm kind of making a triangle there? Yeah. And then kind of just lightly fill it in. And then I come back with my little thingy, and I don't wet it again. It's still wet, and I don't even like spend a lot of time. I just kind of blend it. I use bronzer year round all over my face. I don't do contouring, and I use this big brush. This is taking away the shine. This is blending the cheeks. This is, I don't know. Yeah. All right, I have to pull this down or else I'm going to end up with like the whoop. And so for the eyebrows, just go like this. Dot, 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 dot. And then brush, brush, brush. If any of you have darker eyebrows or more unruly eyebrows, you might actually need to do a little bit more than this if you want your eyebrows to stand out. They have all kinds of brushes now that can simulate brush strokes. For me, I just don't have that kind of time. I don't give myself that kind of time. If you see my eyebrows end right here, and what I do is I just take this color and I just extend it out, and in the camera you can see how obvious it is that there's no color here, but when I stand back it just looks like my eyebrows go a little bit further out. I'm going to show you quite quickly but a little bit more in depth. So this is the end of my brush, and I just follow what it says aside for the transition, right, because we realize that this isn't much of a transition for me. So I just take this eyelid part and just kind of give a couple strokes. You can see that there's color. Here's where my color was, and I just flip my brush over, and then I go in for the crease. Then I switch to this big fluffy side, and I do the brow bone. And get some color on that side and just swoop, swoop, swoopy, swoopy. And if I get too much, I just use my finger and wipe it off. And then that last part is the transition. Again, I don't have a brush for it. I really don't know what it's for. So I just use the back of my finger and I kind of dot right here. Just find the liner that you want. A more natural look is going to be brown. And then I just like that bolder look. And stop right here. Makeup artists have always told me to come out and make my eyes a little bit bigger, but every time I do that, I look like Amy Winehouse, so. You can even see that these look completely different. There's a lot more on this side than this side. That's why I stay down as close to the lash line as possible, because the mascara is going to help kind of balance. So I will show you the halfway out and then I'll do it my way. So here we go. So here, and really I'm just putting this on that waterline, and it does smudge a little bit underneath because it doesn't have that creamy formula, which is why I have to keep going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And so it looks, and then I take my finger and I kind of go under and pick up as much in the hairs that's not on that lash line as possible. So you can see how dramatic of a difference it is, right? See, I normally put this on in the car because I warm it up in between my legs as I'm driving, and then it goes on smoother. This is something called Pacifica. I've tried a bazillion cruelty-free mascaras. This one's okay. I feel naked without mascara, so I put on, like, girl, you're going to the club amount of mascara wherever I go. And so obviously you can do whatever you want. This is basically a setting spray. I do it because that's what they do on YouTube videos, and it's e.l.f. and so it was really cheap. It reminds me when I was in college and we would go out to the clubs and literally spray hairspray on our face so that our makeup would stay. It's probably the same thing. Okay, but as you can see, it's still a little dewy from spraying and the fact that I'm like hella hot and feeling rushed. Okay, I'm late for work. Hope this helped. Bye.